Hi, I'm Dr. Tuepenz.
And I'm Gaplord.
And we are
the Juice Crew Villans.
I ain't even fucking push record on that shit.
I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life. I'm just living my life, and I'm not living.
Topic that we think we should voice an opinion on. So today we'll be talking about, is America racist? Let me repeat that again. Is America racist? And first we'll get Dr. Tuepenz's opinion. But before I do that, let me define what racism is. Racism is a prejudice or antagonistic towards a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. And let's define antagonistic: showing or feeling active opposition or hostility towards someone or something. Let's define marginalized: treated as insignificant or peripheral. So, is America racist, Dr. Tuepenz?
No, I don't believe it's racist. What you just described was personal characteristics of persons. It's a case-by-case scenario. The country itself isn't racist. I don't believe it is. But I do believe America has hateful people who, don't like certain people because of how they look and what their elders taught them as youth.
So, what percentage would you say that was? Like, if you had to just throw out a number off from your experience and what, subjective number.
I'd say 20 to 30.
20 or 30% of people?
Of the people that's being categorized as racist, or being racist.
Yeah, I'm saying, you think is there 20% or 30 people who judge people based off characteristics like their skin color?
Oh, no. I'm talking about hate people.
In general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, judging off of, that's a lot of people. I had to be at least 75%. Or more, probably 90. Really, you think about it.
That judge people based off their skin,
and not like judge like, ooh, they're evil, but just look at their skin color and make well, this person is white, so it's naturally to assume certain things. I don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
So you think that's racist?
No, I don't think that's racist. I'm talking about people assuming things about people based off the way they look. Now, being racist, I always thought that was what.
So you're talking about stereotyping?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we talking about racist.
Right.
And I'm okay with stereotypes.
Right. I mean, it's not a big deal. But what I'm saying is, there are people who, look at people and say, I hate them.
I'm asking you what percentage.
And I said 20 to 30, 50, 25. So 25%. They look at people and say, I hate them.
I think that's how. I think it's less than that, but that's fair. It's
color.
It's your. I think it's probably like 4 or 5%, but different experiences. So what are some things that people consider to be racist in America against black people?
Jobs,
like discrimination.
Job discrimination, law enforcement, what's that new thing the blacks complain about now? Capitalizing. What's the culture vulture? What's that word? Cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation.
That's when a white girl wear braids, cornrows, and stuff.
Yeah, that's another thing that's considered racist.
They feel like they're stealing their culture.
Getting in line in front of a black person in the grocery store, that could be considered racist, depending on how they got in front of them.
Does that happen?
I don't know.
If you allow somebody to cut you in line, that's just you not sticking up for yourself.
I said that on some jokey stuff, but but black people always say everything is racist. You know what I'm saying? It's so much stuff that it's so you don't know what it is no more. You can't really. It's something that can't be defined.
Super subjective.
It's super hyper subjective.
Yeah. So let's kind of touch on some of the things you said. So you said like the police. Do you personally feel like there's police targeting black people and treating them unfairly?
No, not all.
Have you had an experience like that?
I have, but I still don't know whether they did it because I was black or not. Because he didn't tell me.
So
I could assume that.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
Yeah,
so are you assuming or you know this for sure?
No, I'm just assuming that,
okay.
They. I don't know. But what I think there are some police that may see people that are, fit a certain description and just see everybody look like that as that. You know?
And like I said, that's a slippery slope because in many cases, stereotyping people is a necessary thing for survival and our safety. It's like if I go to the corner store in my neighborhood and I see a bunch of young men, black men with hoodies on, sitting on the loitering in front of the store, I think it's safe to assume I might not need to pull up there and they got blue flags in their pocket. I'm going to assume they're gangbanging. Or if I see some people who aren't dressed well and they're hanging in loitering in front of the store, I might avoid that store because I'm going to assume they're crackheads or bums and they're going to ask me for money.
Right.
So I'm stereotyping them based on their appearance. And, and
the environment.
So
I'm not saying the police is like just wrong, completely. But I think some of them get so deep into that stereotype that they just make everybody that, and it causes them to over police in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say I think it's a small case. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a very, very small group of people, that just don't like, black people maybe. But hell, we never know. We're gonna never know who they is or what they are until they say it with their mouth. Until they admit it and confess that. But because anybody can lie and say, "Oh, I'm not. I was just this, and this." So you really don't know until and it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, and
that's what's the biggest thing. It really don't even matter if they hate you. Just stay out the police way.
Right. Yeah, just do right.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't have that experience. I've had plenty. I have way more good experiences with cops than bad. Cops have shown me a lot of favor when they should have not shown me favor. So, my personal experience, I had bad ones. You've been with me.
I've had a few bad ones myself.
Yeah,
too.
but
it wasn't like I wasn't doing nothing wrong, and I definitely fit the description.
And I can't say that it was racist either.
I hate to say it, but fit the description.
Yeah.
And it's just the reality. But at the time we were so young, you're not going to understand that. You can't understand it from that perspective. You haven't had enough life experience to even understand how a real organization is ran.
Mm-hmm. And also,
it's a lot more deeper than this cop on patrol. It's way more than that.
And when cops are pulling you over, as far as anybody, they aren't able to tell the color of your skin from behind the car. Now, we can't stereotype based off of some cars. If you got 24s and a Caprice Classic and some Beats, me personally, I'm going to assume you're black. That's just me. And I'm stereotyping because that's commonly what I see in my community. And I live in an all-black community.
Man, I was about to go to tangent. I don't want to go too deep on this tangent, but I just want to say this. For the blacks always complain about being stereotyped, but they do more stereotyping than anybody else on the earth almost, especially against each other. Yeah. If you're a person that's classified as black, the blacks will tell you you're talking white if you're speaking, properly English, or you're not slurring your words and using slang. They'll tell you, you're being white. If you don't, if you're a part of a situation where somebody assaults you, let's just make it easy. If somebody assaults you and you call the police and tell them, you're a snitch.
Yeah. Insane, right? Okay, so.
Oh man, that's deep.
So let's go and touch on this question. Are black people treated unfairly by opposite race in general? Do you think, generally speaking, most of the time, black people are treated unfairly?
Nah.
Okay. Do you think black people have to work harder than white people to achieve similar results?
I'm gonna say yeah. And the only reason I say yeah is because the blacks haven't put themselves in the position to have the connections to build the infrastructure that the white people have. So it's going to be a little bit more easier for them to navigate through. Not saying that white people don't have challenges, and it's definitely not an all thing, but because white people are the majority of the country, they own the majority of the businesses and stuff like that. It's going to be easier for them to get there because the other episode we talked about we talked about discrimination. And so what people don't understand is, I was talking about this on Facebook, and they was like, well, they didn't want to hire her because she was black. And I was like, what about the company culture? If the company culture is, really centered around, basic American white culture, You know what I'm saying? Like, how many black people can you really have just fit up in that culture like that? It's going to mesh well with the company and give you the result that you're looking for that specific position. So these are things that you have to take into consideration when you're looking for jobs and you're looking at business and stuff like that. Who meshes well best with the company? Do I agree with it? You know, not really, but at the same time, you know, that's why I would have my own business. You know, that's how people run their businesses out here. It's legal to do that. And if people want to do that, I think that's fine. Even if I don't agree with it, I think it's fine to go ahead and do it. I don't think it's a wrong thing. You know what I mean? If you think that's what works best for your business, that's fine. But I do think that, you know, white people would naturally have it just a little bit easier because of the level of ownership in the business realm in America.
Okay, so let me add to that. So I don't necessarily think that black people have to work harder to achieve the same results. I do at the same time, because I do think the reason why we have to work harder is because we are oftentimes raised with this poor victim mindset. So we do have to work harder to get out that victim mindset to achieve those results. But if you grow up in a community of these same people in a mixed culture community, you are of that culture. So at the same time, I do understand that a business is more likely to hire somebody with similar culture and background as them. That culture doesn't mean that your skin color has to favor them also. You can be of different skin color and of the same culture. So I do think we do have to work harder, because as a whole, I would say most, especially that I'm aware of, most black people come in my community, they come from a different mindset, and they have to kind of climb out that victim mindset. You have to work harder in that way, but not as far as putting in the same work. Like, once you get out of that victim mindset, putting in the actual work, I don't think you have to put in more work, like physical work and tangible work, and like work harder at school than a white person to achieve the same results. I think that the victim mindset is what we have to work harder at. So I agree, but I disagree.
I agree with that too. I think it's just a both, and I think it's always a case by, as I always say, it's a case by case scenario. You know, sometimes you might need to work a little harder to stand out if you want to stand out. You know what I mean? Hard work stands out.
Yeah.
So I think that, but that's an everybody thing though. Everybody can stand out with hard work. But yeah, to your point, I do agree. You know, a lot of black people do got work at getting out that victim mindset. Coming up out of that, you know what I'm saying, is probably harder than anything else you'll probably experience in this life. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a mindset. You can't see it.
Yeah, white people work hard. They work hard too to get results. They put work in.
Yeah. I don't want to take away from the white people. White people work hard, and I'd have been around some. White people that work very hard.
Yeah, it feels like it discredits. I feel like it discredits people from their hard work and their achievements when we say that we can't achieve these same results and we have to work twice. It's like, you don't know most black people haven't even been around enough white people to even understand the amount of work they put in to achieve that success.
And I guess what I was referencing, not saying like, oh, you know, I guess I was kind of going back to what you were saying, like, because it's not like I'd have been in a situation with white people, you know what I'm saying, where I went to school with them, worked with them, and just outworked them and just naturally shine. So I guess I'm really just piggybacking off of just, you know, when you black, you gotta overcome so many other things, because when you're coming from an urban community opposed to a suburban community, the culture is different. So just coming up out of the urban culture mindset, you know what I'm saying, to get to the when you get to the suburban culture, then when you get into these workplaces and in these spaces with these people, it's like you have to adapt. You have to adapt.
But it's not their fault. It's
not, of course, it's not their fault. Yeah. But you have to You have to work harder to adapt to where they're at. So that's what I'm referencing. Like, you have to work harder to adapt to be in that environment. You know, if you didn't come from it, and most black people just didn't come from it. Yeah. So it's like I said, it's natural. It's just natural. That's why white people, they naturally thrive, because they used to being around it.
Yeah.
They're just more exposed to it. So yeah, man, that's a real interesting dynamic to think about, bro. When you really just put it all together, you know, of what's holding people back in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, being exposed to productive culture.
So let me ask, would you travel 2,000 miles by feet in the heat to a country that would oppress you?
Never.
I ask that because there are people from South and Central America traveling 2,000 miles with their children to America
For
And
oppression.
why would you travel that far to be oppressed? It doesn't make sense.
Man, you see that Charleston White interview with Jesse Lee? I know you watched that.
Yeah, but we ain't talking about them.
No, I was going to say what he said. No, I was going to say the funny thing he said. It was so real. He was like, they both were talking about how they was happy for slavery. How it was a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they was glad to come over here to America, not be stuck in Africa.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But you know what I'm
honestly,
saying?
to be real, I am. I can
I'm
say grateful. Yeah,
I'm grateful to be over here, man. I put my coffee cup in my cup holder this morning. I said, "Damn, thank God for cup holders. What a privilege."
And paved roads.
What a privilege to be able to put your cup in a cup holder.
So that's a segue to this question. Do you think America's problems are unique to this country? What people consider America's issues, like race, do you think this only unique to America?
No, this is worldwide. I mean, hate is hate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is, and I'm not gonna get too technical, but the blacks hated the blacks. Black people more than anybody at one point, probably still to this day.
Yeah, ain't no probably. It still is. That's why you have like a lot of tribalism in like Africa. You have tribes that's tribalism, different tribes who are against other tribes. I.e. Rwanda.
Mm-hmm.
So
Shit with like gang banging and
Bang,
stuff.
yeah.
Central out there, boy. Whoa, wait.
yeah. So it's like these problems that we complain about in America are not me. I don't complain, but problems that a lot of people complain about in America, like being oppressed and racism. You should try your hand at another country and see that you will face much worse problems.
Yeah. Different culture.
Yes,
Different culture.
it's not unique to America, and I don't think it's a problem per se.
It's only a problem. I had a point that I wanted to make too. Racism is only as real as those who believe in it. Racism is a tool of confusion and also used for business marketing purposes.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. So y'all realize what they're doing when they're doing this, when they're using you for this racism stuff, and they're using Black History Month to get you up and spending money and doing everything else that you don't even need to be doing. It's just using you, Even with the white people, they use them too. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Do you buy what you want to buy with the money you earn and put the work in, but don't be looking around blaming somebody for something when you're disappointed in how your life is going.
Okay. So do you think there is a fixed plan for Black people to fail, and if so, what plan?
I mean, yes, and that plan has been going on since about 1960 something. It's called the Civil Rights Movement.
Mm-hmm.
That's a plan for Black people to fail. Most of the stuff the Democratic, I ain't gonna say most of the stuff, but some of the policies and the things that the Democratic Party does, the Liberal Party, the Liberal people do, they have plans to make Black people fail.
Yeah, it doesn't work out in the best interest of Black people.
Yeah, it's not if you make a plan that doesn't work for the best interest of somebody, you planning for them to fail.
Yeah, but they have also it's a choice. It's
I agree. It's
we
a
have
trick.
a choice. Yeah.
It's a trick. They tricking you. Yeah, it's fishing. Fishing. The hook model marketing, racism marketing tool is fish you in with your emotions on racism because you believe in it so much that you're gonna go with the side that's supporting you.
Yeah, so
You know
you think
what I'm
that's
saying?
like system? So you think that's systematic racism?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. That's racist as hell.
I mean, I don't like.
If we were talking about racism, if it's a real thing, that's
yeah.
real life
Then that would be
racism.
racist. Yeah,
Acting like they care about your condition to further their mission.
and put you in worse conditions.
And your kids.
Yeah, it does. I think that these social programs like food stamps and child support as well. I think these things only hinder and hurt the Black community because it creates a reliance on these things. And child support and food stamps, like those things shouldn't be that we rely on to have. Like it's a safety net. People will make better decisions without these things.
It's not freedom.
Huh?
Remember with Clarence Thomas?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
It's not freedom, because what he said, what that man said was, when you sign up for them benefits and all that, you got to answer questions about your house, and they can come in there and
That's what his grandfather said.
Yeah, who can come in, who can't come in. You know what I'm saying? But they tricked all the blacks, especially up north. You know, the South was on point, but up north they started going for all them rights, want to fight, want to burn stuff, and then end up turning on each other. Yeah,
you allow the government in your house. You should. I mean, as people, you should want less government.
Yeah, when the government got
not more government.
When the government got to be responsible for you and be accountable for your mistakes.
Yeah.
The government has to be accountable for your mistakes. It's a problem, man.
Yeah. Then
you're hurting yourself back. You're hindering your growth, and it's not real freedom.
And then they have control. Yeah. Then that's real slavery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slavery's happening. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Right now.
Yeah.
For y'all, and all you gotta do is take the mental chains off your mind and let go of the Democratic Party. Somebody got mad at me on Facebook. I said, "Hey man, anybody that get appointed for any job in the Democratic Party is unqualified for any real professional endeavors."
I mean, you know, it's some, but it does scare. When somebody said it does kind of scare me. It's like, oh man, I don't know what they believe in.
I mean, I don't even want a Democrat cooking my food.
I know you crazy.
You get all liberal, like, there's too much sauce on there. I don't want to put too much on there. We gotta save something for them.
No,
I paid for this. Put this sauce on there.
I wouldn't say all. It is a bunch of people who are very radical in their beliefs who are democratic. Yeah, and it does frighten me sometimes, but I wouldn't say all.
And we love y'all. I love every Democrat. If you're a Democrat or a liberal, I love you.
And I'm independent, but. You know, I just don't roll. I don't roll with that side.
They too loose.
Yeah. So let me ask: are white people the only ones that can be racist? Because that's what it seems that everyone points the finger to.
Yeah, and it's like, what about the blacks? What about the stuff that black people, the blacks be talking about?
Yeah, because if I define it by this definition that we looked up, and I judge based off my life experiences and what I hear black people around me have said, family members included, then they are doing all the same things they claim white people do. They speak negatively and use racial terms referring to white people. So they would too then have to be racist, right?
Not according to the blacks. The blacks' logic is, well, they're doing it too.
Well, a lot of black people feel like black people can't be racist because they don't control any system.
And that's the weakest shit ever.
Yeah.
That sounds like
even when we had a black president, they still felt that way. Yeah.
Man,
they're like, well, the president don't control nothing.
Hey, don't come
and if the president don't control anything, why were y'all so upset with Donald Trump? See, it doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense. But they got y'all again. The Democrats got y'all.
Okay, so how has America treated you?
Fair.
Me as well. Life has treated me fair, and so is America.
Remember this, y'all. God's plan, not yours. Or it's the devil's plan.
Right. So I'm going to end it on this note with me, and you guys let us know what you think. Racism will disappear when we stop talking about it and let it die with the past. It's not anything that's affecting me or you.
Yeah, and me personally, you know what I'm saying? If y'all really want to get rid of racism, y'all looking for some real solutions, and I mean this shit, subscribe to the channel. Comment below. Let your people know. If y'all trying to eradicate racism, subscribe to this channel right now. And as soon as you subscribe, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Like magic. You 5 me?
5 queer.
Shout out C-Mac. I fuck with Cuz though. That was a cool little one.
Manifesting the vibe, yeah, we feeling it. You wasting time, then you killing it. Life's too short, so we living it up. Pull up to the party with this drink in my cup. Don't fuck with nobody if that body new. My trust only lies with the crew. Say I'm the truth, bully the hype. This ain't a movie, baby, this is my life. Baby, this is my life.
I've been rapping my whole life. I ain't been rapping that long. Life is short, my nigga.
I couldn't write a verse in jail, couldn't get a vibe there. Surrounded by depression, no nigga. sandwich with the wrong side of the bread. Thought I made it by a landslide, but instead I'm still hungover. Sometimes I make the wrong phone call after dark. Sometimes I make the wrong turn, then I have to pause. I know exactly how this ends, but I have